Okay, Scott Robertson, SCOTT ROBERTSON, and I'm a captain with the Highway Patrol.
Okay, perfect. Can you just give us the latest update on what's going on at the reservoir here?
Okay, since we last met at about 11:40 this morning, crews were able to lift the tractor out of the water, and in doing so, we were able to locate the driver. He was deceased in the cab of the tractor, and we were able to remove him and remove the tractor. Currently, crews are strapping the tank with the crane to lift it up out of the water as well. So that's what we're currently doing.
Do you have an idea on timeline as to the road closure? I know a lot of people have been asking about when the road is going to open up.
Yeah, I think realistically by 6 p.m. Would be a good target.
Can you remind people why you need the road to be closed?
We need the road to be closed. Number one, we're dealing with a hazardous material, and there's still that threat, although it's been greatly diminished. There's always that threat, but number one is the safety of the responders and the crews that are working to get this out of the lake. We obviously want to recover that out of the lake for obvious reasons, but we want to do it in a manner that protects the lake and protects the resource, and then protects our people. The road's narrow there. You know, it's a 2-lane road. It takes room to operate this equipment, and so it's just necessary to use the whole road and not have to worry about traffic coming through.
Do investigators know kind of what caused the truck driver to drive off? You know, if there's any indication on?
Yeah, we don't know that yet. There's a lot of work to do by our investigators. There's some really technical things to do with the truck, with the computer. It's a new enough truck that we can download the computer in it, we hope, and it'll give us some information. We need to look at witness statements. We need to look at a lot of things, and so these things take time. We don't want to, we don't just want to guess. We owe it to the family of the deceased driver to do the best investigation we can, and that just takes time. So right now we don't know.
Any information on the identity of the man? You said he's from Utah?
He is. Yeah, we're not quite ready to release that yet. And so we'll do that through our PIO when we feel like it's appropriate.
Can you release an age?
I'm not sure of the age, to be quite honest with you. So we'll release all of that when we feel like it's appropriate after talking to the family and all of the things we need to consider.
I know it's kind of cold today, but recreation on the lake allowed? Can people be out on the lake, or is it recommended not?
It's recommended that they stay away, and the reason for that is boats cause wakes and waves, and where this tank is, it can move, but it will also stir the hydrocarbons, the diesel fuel that's in the water, and we want to contain that in the boom area that we have and minimize that. So they're asking people to stay on the southern entrance to Deer Creek and not come north, if they can at all possible do that for us.
Can you describe on what you mean by boom area? Because I looked at the aerial photos, and it doesn't appear that there's is it the surface level booms or?
Yeah, those are hydrocarbon booms so the oil will come to the surface of the water and those booms will catch it, and so that's the area that I'm talking about.
How long will those be up?
I don't know. I would have to ask the water quality people, and maybe the chief can answer that as well.
The material, the propane in the tanker, is there still propane in there? Do you believe that, or do we know for sure?
I think it's mostly empty, probably 5% or less in the bottom. It's cold, the water's cold. There's a good chance that there's some still in the bottom. We can smell it from time to time up there depending on the wind. So, but it's the danger from that is not gone, but it's greatly diminished.
What's the environmental impact this is going to have on the water and the land around it?
I don't know that I'm the one to answer that. Our water quality people, the state parks, those types of people are taking water samples. They're looking at what they need to see what the overall impact is. I think the long range impact won't be known for obviously a while, but I think those people will speak to that once they have an idea just what the impact is.
For me,
Anything else we missed?
No, I just again thank the people for being patient with the closure. I know it's hard. I know we've had calls from frustrated people that and we understand that. We get that. We just need to do what we need to do safely, and it's an inconvenience, and we recognize that. And no one's happier than us when it's open. Trust me.
I do have one more question
Sure.
actually. What's the technicalities of getting a semi out of the water? What kind of challenges did your crews face?
I'm going to let the chief speak to that. He's been in charge of most of that, so we'll let him answer that.
I didn't know we were doing another interview.
Yeah, we can wire him up.
okay.
There's the wind.
I know.
Yeah.
That came all out of
I
nowhere.
don't want to be on that water. The whitecaps out there.
Yeah. Well, we knew the wind was coming. That's
I was trying
one
to
of the things that we were trying to avoid. So.
Okay.
It is, yes. Yep. Clear.
Alright, so I'll turn this on super fast. Look at that. Big one there. I can go in your pocket if that's okay. Perfect. I'll just do it right here.
Are you able to talk on environmental impact?
I didn't know when he was answering, just when I was
Not
asking.
more than he did.
I talk with my hand. I don't even-
That
Yeah.
helps me know where I was more nervous than my parents.
Yeah, they're basically going to take water samples. We have it contained the best we can.
Okay.
We have some estimates of possibly how much diesel fuel is in the
Yeah, I'll ask.
spill. Yeah.
Okay.
Where did my person leave me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there she is.
If you could just say and spell your first and last name.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
Eric Hales, ERICHALES. I am the fire chief of Wasatch Fire District.
And what role did your crews play in this operation?
The roles our crew played in this operation were we were the initial responders to a motor vehicle crash. We had a semi-tanker that was carrying just under 12,000 gallons of propane enter the Deer Creek Reservoir, went through the guardrail. Upon going through the guardrail, it did breach its tank and started off-gassing. Initial response was obviously for the patient that we tried to get to. However, he was deeply submerged underneath the tanker and we were unable to perform a rescue. Then our operation became a recovery effort and a hazardous material incident. So we isolated the area. We assisted other responders such as the emergency management, our search and rescue teams, as well as the Central Utah Water Conservancy District, their emergency management, and placing booms around the containment area to control the hydrocarbons.
Can you talk a little bit about what off-gassing is for our viewers who aren't familiar with that term?
Yeah, normally propane is a very cold liquid, but as it heats up and it escapes the container, which is pressurized, it kind of just releases and becomes a vapor from a liquid. So it obviously boils at a very low temperature. So that off-gassing is kind of what it actually ignites when you actually use the fuel.
And what were the technicalities in this recovery operation? What are some challenges you faced?
Well, number one, once we identified that this became a recovery and not a rescue mission, we had to maintain rescuer safety and make sure that no one else around the area was in danger. So we actually ensured that we had the area isolated, and then we made sure we had the protective measures in place for those who were preparing the straps for the cranes who entered the water. We had divers from Wasatch Search and Rescue, as well as Department of Public Safety, help us with this rescue or this recovery effort.
And how much fuel or propane has been leaked into the water?
So fortunately with the propane actually was where the tank was breached was on the top portion of the container, so it actually vented into the atmosphere. We know propane's heavier in air, but we weren't concerned that it was mixing with the water. We were concerned with the diesel fuel in the saddle tanks. Semi trucks carry up to 200 gallons of fuel, diesel fuel, plus 30, 40, 50 gallons of engine oil. So from our estimates, we leaked anywhere from 30 to 40 gallons of diesel fuel and probably about 30 plus gallons of engine oil. So that's what our primary concern is with using the booms and the curtains that we placed.
Moving forward, how would you get that material out of the water?
So right now we have the booms, and the nice thing is the hydrocarbons are lighter than water, so they rise on the surface. So we do have pads on top of those absorbing that. We will use skimmers, but we also have environmental cleanup teams staging on scene that will help once we get the hazard out of the water.
Now, obviously, we can't see it from here, but we can see there's two cranes getting the remainder of the vehicle out of there. What is that looking like for your team?
So right now, when the captain and myself left the scene to come meet you, we had our divers in the water, and they were putting the straps around the large propane tank. And as you see, there's two cranes. They have to work simultaneously to actually lift that together in unison to rest it on the floor. We are concerned that we're not 100% sure all the propane is out of there. Once the tank is lifted out of the water, the tank could heat up enough to start off-gassing again. So that is a concern to us. So making sure that we mitigate any ignition hazards is a key component to that.
Even when the road opens, how long do you expect your crews will be out here monitoring the water?
Well, crews will be continually monitoring the water for some time now, and that'll be left up to the health department and Central Utah Water and all the other regulatory agencies. But once the hazard's mitigated and is cleaned up, our crews will leave hopefully in the next 4 hours or so.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Sorry, like right there with you.
Thanks,
Yes.
Chief. So I guess smoking is off limits while the
Yes.
tank is coming out.
Yes, please.
From us.
Don't smoke them if you got
Anything
them.
else out, we'll put it out through camera.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay.